All right, so that's the Women's Statewide Cup final. Nelson Eastern Suburbs losing to University 4-1. Our next game is the final of the Milan Lukaseliats Memorial Trophy between South Hobart, who are the league champions in the south, and Devonport City, who happen to be the league champions in the north. Martin, both teams observed a minute's silence at the beginning of this game. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it was out of respect for Ken Howe, who was a football personality, I suppose, from up in Devonport, and also the father of two of the players that were playing this week, so Andrew Howe and Sean Howe. So he's a well-known identity in northern football, and there was just a minute's silence before the game out of respect for Ken.
Goalkeeper Andrew Howe and midfielder Sean Howe were the two players whose father died. That would have been hard on them emotionally, Nicole?
Yes, Walter, I didn't actually know that, but I don't know how they could actually go out and play knowing that that's just happened to them, but yeah, full credit to them.
The first half was a bit of a stalemate. South Hobart probably had the better chances and the better possession, Martin.
Yeah, I think this was one of those games that probably didn't reach the heights that we hoped it would with the two premiers from their respective leagues. I think Devonport really didn't quite settle at any stage during the game, and South Hobart certainly had the better of the running, but still it took them quite some time to put a chance away.
Do you think it was because Devonport had wrapped up the title a few weeks earlier and they were sort of off their game a little bit? Yeah,
look, I'm not sure why. I've seen them play their previous cup ties and they'd played a really good brand of football. This week, whether it was just the case that they just weren't on their game, or whether it was a case of them being a little bit complacent from previous weeks.
There we saw the first goal scored by Billy Gaspernatos for South Hobart. That came late in the game with only about 7 minutes to play. And Ken Morton there, the South Hobart coach, very pleased with himself. This made it 4 pieces of silverware out of 5 so far this season, Martin. That's a pretty good performance for South Hobart.
Look, the club's had an outstanding season so far this year, and they've still got the game next week against Devonport again for the state premiership. But I can imagine that the club president would be very pleased with what's happened, and certainly Kenny's done a great job in putting this team together and preparing them week in, week out.
Nicole, South Hobart could get 5 pieces of silverware out of 6 on offer. Having played with Nelson Eastern Suburbs, you'd be used to that sort of thing, wouldn't you?
Yes, very used to that, Walter. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the one that we were after last night, but there's another one up for grabs, and hopefully we can get that next Saturday.
There we saw the second goal for South Hobart, a free kick taken by Jonathan Lardich. Confusion there between the goalkeeper and the defender, and the ball seemed to come off the goalkeeper's gloves, Martin, and looped over his head and into the net.
Yeah, look, it's a bit of an unfortunate way to give away a goal in a big cup final, but and they certainly didn't deserve to lose that way.
And there we have the celebrations of the victorious South Hobart side picking up the Milan Lukaseliats Memorial Trophy, the first time they have ever won a statewide cup. So full credit to South Hobart. Now, Nicole, tell us a little bit more about Launceston City, who you face next week.
Nelson have played Launceston City already during the year. We won that game 3-2, so hopefully we can become victorious in that game. We have got a few injuries going into the game after the game we played last night, so our bench is going to be rather thin, so all our starting 11 have to run out a full 90 minutes, which will be quite difficult, but we hope to come out of the game winners.
So it'll be a big double header again, Martin, next Saturday?
Yeah, we'll have both the men's and the women's state premiership matches out at KG5 next Saturday, so should be a great game. Hopefully we'll get great crowd support like we did this week for both games, but it promises some really great football.
Now, Martin, I believe you are leaving as CEO of FFT. Can you tell us where you're going?
Yeah, look, after 3.5 years in the job, I've accepted a role with Cricket Fiji as their general manager, which is certainly a bit of a change of pace and a change of climate as well. No looking out the windows and seeing any snow on the mountain in Fiji. So I've got another 3 weeks here and then heading over to Fiji.
Well, we wish you all the best, Martin. Thank you for being our guest tonight, and thank you, Nicole, also for being our guest.
Pleasure, Walter.
So that's our show for this evening. We now switch to Jodie Kate in Launceston for the Apex Teen Fashion Awards.
Hello Walter and welcome to the Tasmanian State Finals of the Apex Australian Teenage Fashion Awards. Today's state finals are held at the Country Club Casino in Launceston, and with Tasmania recording a high amount of entries for the finals, watch how the best of the fashion designers and models from Tasmania compete for the opportunity to become the next Australian Young Designer of the Year in the finals at Fox Studio in Sydney in October.